Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston from the Roby family of companies. We are your hosts. We are still joined by Tom Finke, Chairman and CEO of Barings. And Tom, if you don't mind, let's go down that path a little bit. I read something very interesting. I'm sure that you hear this a lot, but Barings is a 250-year-old brand, and they funded the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah.
And you weren't around for that, I don't think.
No, I joined a couple years later.
I thought you looked young.
Yeah. No, but I thought you said something really cool in the break. We were talking a little bit, I'm sorry, in the last segment. If you missed the last segment, you can, of course, catch the podcast. But you said something. We were talking about the crisis, and you said if you're blinded by worry, you won't move forward, which is I thought was a pretty nice thing to say. And it sounds like that's obviously what you did on the residential side by becoming a great client of both Andrew Roby and Roby Electric, and of course your new building that we think September-ish 2017.
We hope to be in there by the end of the summer.
Well, it's a gorgeous building, but explain to us the process of how you became Barings. I know.
Sure.
You started initially with First Union. And
a little background. There's sort of the personal side, or the team in Charlotte here. The original team was actually a group that we put together under First Union National Bank in 1998 called First Union Institutional Debt Management. And our focus was investing in leveraged loans. And for most people, they know the junk bond market. Well, essentially, there are high-yield bonds and there are high-yield loans, and we did the loan part. That entity was sold to a company called David L. Babson in 2002. Okay. David L. Babson was is a sub at the time, or was at the time, of MassMutual Life. So MassMutual is one of the largest and oldest life insurance companies in the United States, mutually owned, so it's not public. And that was our journey to, if you will, Babson. Scroll forward to really last year, as you went into January 16, we launched the plans to basically take Barings Capital, as it was called, which at the time was about a $245 billion asset manager, and a sister company, Barings Asset Management, is headquartered in London, which was $35 billion, and put them together. And the reason we were doing that is our primary client are large institutions. So think state pension funds, large insurance companies, foreign sovereign wealth funds. They're bringing their investing needs, if you will, to asset managers like us.
Okay.
And we invest across fixed income markets, equity markets, commercial real estate. We run about $50 billion in commercial real estate and other alternative strategies. And the decision was to combine the companies, rebrand as one company, and really deliver all those capabilities under one brand with the consistency to our client base. And that was the project for last year. So on September 12th, Babson and its subsidiaries, Cornerstone Real Estate Advisors and Wood Creek Capital, and Barings all became the new Barings.
September the 12th of this year.
2016.
2016. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah. So that's really cool. I mean, you tell that story about how basically you're trying to give your customer, who are these big institutions, better service, fully vertically integrated service, really, is what you're trying to give them. It's very similar to what we try to do at the Roby family. I mean, on a smaller scale, we have clients that run businesses, and if we can take the boutique residential to their boutique commercial and help do other services as well, then our goal is to give great service, and it makes their life a lot easier because we're able to provide more products.
It's very similar, and I think what you're doing with Roby is very similar to what's going on in the asset management industry and a lot of industries. Clients want ease of service. They want more transparency. They want to call one number, or better yet, they want to hit one app. And get the breadth of services.
We can talk about that.
You're right. I mean, take the words out of my mouth. I had a meeting yesterday with a group of people, and we're talking about the family of companies just on our end, and they want, to your point, one app is really probably what we're headed to, but it's one point of contact, one simple person. Hey, Trent or Patrick or who I call when I have, in our world, a plumbing issue, a heating and cooling issue, we have a roofing issue. Whatever. And I mean, it seems like that. Obviously, hopefully, we're following in good footsteps.
Patrick
absolutely.
Patrick was telling me about that quote at your groundbreaking y'all spoke about earlier this morning. He says, like us, man, it's here and now. I mean, we got to do this.
We got to do
It's
it.
what we talk about every day. I mean, we're bloody knuckled every day. Patrick and I work with him on motivating and helping each other and holding each other accountable. But I'll tell you, you can't, even if you do the app and and you subjugate your business to make it better with technology, you have to keep the personal service.
Without a doubt.
And Tom,
without a doubt,
to brag on you as a person and as your style of leadership, and as I'm on this little micro scale, and Patrick as well, leading Roby Electric in our services division, who I try to emulate as a leader. Every time I say your name in town, because I'm very fond of you and very fond of having a $300 billion business based out of Charlotte, the people that enjoy this city sometimes don't even know that it's here, really.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was thinking of getting a bunch of little red trucks with bearings on the side and driving them around.
Well, I might have a few of those. Yeah,
you got some used ones?
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I love the truck. But yeah, the reality is a lot of our client base is very global. So almost a third are based in U.S., Europe, and Asia Pacific. So while we have some North Carolina clients and we raised our profile when we launched a set of mutual funds a few years ago, our core institutional client base really is global. Now, what's great is we get to bring them in. We had a big client in from Japan yesterday,
cool.
In our offices. They come to Charlotte now. And I think that's one of the things we need to, in some ways, bring out a little bit more about Charlotte. It's a fairly international city. You have a lot of businesses that are either branches of or related to global companies, German companies, British, Japanese companies. And, whatever your politics, the reality is we have a globalizing economy.
Yep.
Things are made here and sold overseas. They're made overseas and sold here. Services, though, are becoming more globalized. So if you're a company headquartered in Charlotte that's taking the brand of a 250-year-old British company that's serving clients literally in, we have presence in 17 countries.
Wow.
That's different from where we were 15, 20 years ago as a city. It's really, I think the future of Charlotte is very much tied in becoming a great global city.
I mean, me and Dad used to ride around because so many of our clients were not spinoffs or not people that service, but we're Bank of America and Wachovia folks. That's what I grew up working for.
Yeah.
And we said, man, if one of these banks left or had problems, we're in trouble as Angel Roby. And like you said, we were diversified and made it through it. But where I was going with my first statement, you diverted, and I like what you said. But every time I say your name and every time talk about people that know your business, they all say Tom Finke's a great person and runs that company very well and is a great leader, and he's so nice.
Thanks.
And I know there's times when you can't be nice. You got to be serious.
Oh, yeah, there's days that there's people that say that.
I think that is a great way to lead, and I think it emulates from your family of five and being around your kids and how you get out there and do everything that a great dad's supposed to do, and it emulates his leadership. So I just want to say thank you for bringing that to Charlotte.
Well, as you know, the best way to deal with the stress of business is keep having more kids. You're one more. You got one more to come, right?
I think I'm done. Yeah. I will tell you this: my wife we're not scientifically done. I think I'm done.
So it one of the best things about family and about this city being such a family town is you can have the toughest day of work and you come home and they don't care. You just enjoy life.
And you know what's cool? I think now, because my dad ran the business and God rest his soul, he's gone, but he never made me feel his pain as a kid. And that's a blessing, because I don't think all parents have that ability.
Is a great statement.
And I was in bliss, and I want my kids, and it seems like your kids are. Well, Tom, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Enjoyed being with you guys.
And go look Barings up, look Tom Finke up, and you'll be very proud. it might give you a little motivation to go toss some spirit into your children.
There you go.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.